Welcome back. We are going to finish out this example 2. So again, you should be here on example 2 and be trying to work through these, which help us understand example 2. So I'm going to keep going from the video. Now I got to do the same thing, 3/5 of the vertical change. Okay, so this one we want 3/10 of the vertical change. So 3/10 of the vertical change is equal to 3/10 and the vertical. So I kind of have to turn my head this way, right minus left, absolute value. So 5 minus the -7, and that's going to be positive anyway. But you can think of these as absolute value signs. Okay, so I want 3/10 of 12 because 5 minus a -7 is 12. So I want 3 divided by 10, enter, times 12, enter, 3.6. Beautiful. Now there's a last step. So the last step is, if we're starting at A, so if you start at A, 3, 4, 3, -4. So here we're starting at -4. I need to allow some space, -7. So if we're starting from A, and it says we are, it then says I take the horizontal change and add it to my X value. I take my vertical change, add it to my Y value. So this was my horizontal change, and I need to add it to my X value. So -4 plus 4.8. Then I'm going to take my vertical change and add it to my Y value. My Y value was -0.7. So I think you're noticing, wow, this is a lot of work. I think eyeballing it 3/10 of the way there is going to be pretty accurate, but let's check. And I would take that over the math too. Totally cool. So our number 16, we're almost done here. It says take the number, so -4 plus 4.8. I get the number 0.8. Okay. Then for my Y value, I get the number -7 plus 3.6, -3.4. Let's see if that's pretty accurate. So this is about 1, and this is about -3.5. Again, I would take any number close to there, even if you're just guesstimating. So +1, that's all the way to -4. So that's pretty close. That's exactly, I guess, 3/10 of the way there. Right there, 3/10. This would be halfway there. That's 3/10 of the way there. Cool? Awesome. So this is my official answer, maybe. This is also a really good answer, pretty darn close. Now let's keep going. They now want me to go from B to A 1/4 of the way there. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to go on a journey from B to A 1/4 of the way there. Well, we like the fraction 1/4 because that's just half of a half. So I think most of you are thinking you're just going to go straight to an answer and guess a coordinate close to about here. Because again, if I'm walking from here to here, this would be halfway, this would be 1/4 of the way there, right? But let's do the math. So I want to go not the whole way there, 1/4 of the way there in the horizontal, and 1/4 of their way in the vertical. Well, the nice thing is we already found the horizontal distance. That was 16. So same fraction, what's 1/4 of the way of 16? I get an answer 4. What's 1/4 of the vertical distance? Well, I already calculated that, 12. 1/4 of the number 12 is 3. Sweet. So I'm going to go on a journey from B to A now, and horizontally I need to go back 4, and vertically I need to go down 3, and looky there, that's going to be right there at my number. So because I'm starting at B, I've got to do it this way. I've got to start with this 12 and do something to the X value, and then 5 and do something to the Y value. Okay, So because to get to this midpoint, you see how in the horizontal you need to go back? So I'm realizing I'm going to have to subtract this 4. And again, here vertically, to get to this quarter mark, I've got to go down. So I'm going to subtract that 3, and we'll see if that number looks good. So 12, take away 4. All right. Ooh. Not even really guessing. So let's see where that falls. 8, 2. And some of you might go, I didn't do any of that math. That's a quarter of the way there. If that's half, that'd be a quarter. Done. Good job. Now, last one. This one's a doozy, so I'm going to call this bonus. But I really, really love this question, so I'm definitely still going to talk about it. Let's think about what they're actually asking me. They're saying point B is a third of the way from A to C. So this thing's going off my page. Let's maybe even get a ruler here. They're saying in question 18, point B is only a third of the way there from A to C. So C must be somewhere over here because B is a third of the way there. So I think using my gut, C's somewhere over here if my graph paper kept going. They're saying, what is the coordinate of C? Well, I think that's something we can come up with. So again, let's think about this for a minute. If it's kind of like you get in the car with your mom, you're on a journey, you think, oh, we'll be there any minute. And you say, Mom, how are we almost there? And she said, you've traveled from A to B, and she says, nope, we're only a third of the way there. That's what's happening here. From A to B in my new question, that's a third of the way there, so I need 2 more thirds to go. Okay, so a couple ways to think about this question. I think some people mentioned slope they think would be part of it. I think that could be a good idea. So let's see. In the X, I went from -4 over to 12, and we said that horizontal distance was 16. So I'm just going to make a little picture here. I went from A, I got to make it really big because again, I got to make C here, right? From A to B is just a third, so I need the whole thing to be cut into 3 equal pieces. So the whole distance, A to C, where B is a third of the way there. Okay, so horizontally, when I went over 16. We established that a couple different times. The horizontal distance is 16. And when you go from -4 to 12, you do go over 16. And then the vertical distance was 12. Okay, so vertical distance is 12. So we went from -7 up to 5, and -7 and 5 are 12 away. So we definitely added 12 to that coordinate. Now we need to continue it by just doing it 2 more times. Hopefully you're noticing that to figure out the mystery of the C coordinate, I need to do it 2 more times. So we're just going to do that, and we'll be done. Beautiful. Start the weekend. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited it's the weekend. So now let's see, what was my A coordinate? So my A was -4, -7. Sometimes I've been adding inside the coordinate. Here I'm going to add vertically. So then, again, my X value, I'm going to the right, so I'm going to add 16. And my Y value, I'm adding 12. So -4 plus 16, I already know my answer, but I'm just going to double check. -4 plus the 16 gives me 12. Yeah, and -7 plus 12, -7 plus 12, 5. Well, I already knew that. Now I need to just see how that's what I need to do to get to B, and now I need to 2 more times to get to C. So I'm going to take my B value and do that again. Add 16 to the X and add 12 to the Y. So I don't really have a name for this. I'm just gonna say it's 2/3 of the way there, so I'll call that T. So I know I'm at 2/3 of the way there if I kept adding that. So I think I get 28 and 27. Wait, 17, sorry about that. Kind of adding in my head. So this would be 28, 5 plus 12 is 17. Beautiful. Now I'm almost there. The coordinate T, I believe, is at 28, 17. So if I want to get all the way to C, C would be another 16 and another 12 in the Y. So to get to C, I'm going to add 16 to 28, 44, and add, there you go, 29. And this one's bonus, but I really, really like it. So if you didn't like any of that, go ahead and skip it. Thanks for joining us. I did just assign the left column, so when you come in, I'll put a stamp right here, and enjoy your weekend.